Riven was dragging a body, not running. He couldn't run. His legs weren't working the way legs are supposed to work when everything in your body is shutting down from shock. A girl, her clothes torn, her face pale, a dark red trail on the concrete behind her. Riven's hands were shaking. He kept looking left, then right, then behind him. Get her out. That was the only thought. Get her somewhere someone can see. Then he heard the footsteps. He stopped, turned around slowly. 3 men at the entrance of the alley, and behind them a 4th, dark suit. Hands in his pockets, completely still. The kind of man who never blinks first. Nobody moved. The alley went completely silent. This is Riven, a man who spent his whole life avoiding problems, even small ones. And this is the night one found him anyway. 6 hours earlier, Riven was the kind of person who avoided problems, even small ones. If 2 people were arguing on the street, he crossed to the other side. If someone needed help with a heavy bag, he looked at his phone, not because he was cruel, because getting involved always cost more than it looked like it would. He had learned that early. Once, when he was 16, he had spoken up, told a teacher what he saw happening to another student, thought he was doing the right thing. The student denied it. The teacher reported Riven instead, and the other kids didn't forget his name for 2 years. After that, Riven kept his head down. Always. He was 26 now, working late shifts at a small cafe called Milo's. 8 tables, cracked tile floor, the kind of place that had been open for 30 years and would probably close in 5. He didn't love the job. He didn't hate it either. It was quiet, simple. Nobody asked him for anything, except coffee and the bill. That suited him fine. That Tuesday, his shift ended at 10:45 p.m. He was tired, the kind of tired that settles in your shoulders and doesn't leave. He wiped down the last table, stacked the chairs, said goodnight, put on his jacket, and stepped outside. He took the shortcut. He always took the shortcut. Through the back lane behind the old storage buildings. Saves 8 minutes. He had done it 100 times without incident. That night, he should have taken the long way. Halfway through the lane, he noticed a door. Old wooden door in the wall of an abandoned building, slightly open. A thin line of dim yellow light coming through. He would have kept walking. That was his instinct, keep walking. It was always his instinct. Then he heard the sound. A girl's voice, muffled, desperate. The kind of sound a person makes when they are trying to scream but something is stopping them. Riven stopped walking, stood still, listened. The sound came again, and for the first time in 10 years, Riven walked toward a problem. Instead of away from it, he pushed the door open an inch, looked inside. A large room, concrete walls, no windows, one bare bulb hanging from the ceiling, a yellow circle of light in the center, everything outside it, pure darkness. In the light, a girl. Young, maybe 20, on her knees, hands raised, trembling, crying without making sound. 3 men around her, faces covered, not speaking, just standing there, waiting. Riven's hand tightened on the doorframe. Every instinct said, "Go, leave. This is not yours." His legs didn't move. Then one of the men stepped forward. It happened fast. The girl tried to stand. The first blow knocked her sideways. She hit the concrete hard. Riven pulled back from the door, hand over his mouth, back against the wall, breathing in short, silent bursts. He looked through the gap again. She was on the floor. Blood on the concrete. Still moving. Still fighting. Her eyes moved toward the door, toward the thin line of light, toward Riven. For 1 second, they looked at each other. She saw him, and in her eyes just one word, please. The second blow came. She stopped moving. Then, from somewhere far away outside, a police siren, distant, getting closer. The 3 men looked at each other. No words, just a look. And they moved, fast, out through the back exit. Gone in seconds, the siren passed, faded. A different street, a different emergency. Nothing to do with this room. Now the room was silent. Just the bare bulb, just the girl on the floor. Just Riven at the door. Riven went inside. He pushed the door open all the way, walked in slowly. He crouched beside her, put his hand near her face. Waited, nothing. He checked her wrist, waited again, nothing. She was gone. Riven sat back, looked at his hands, looked at the blood on the floor, looked at her face, still now. Call the police. The thought was clear, obvious. Sit here, dial, tell them everything. But then the other thought came, the familiar one, the one that had been running his life for 10 years. If you stay, you are involved. Panic took over. Not a decision, just movement. He grabbed her arms, started pulling, toward the door, toward the lane, toward somewhere a person could be found. Somewhere he didn't have to be the one to explain. He was halfway through the door. Footsteps. He looked up. At the end of the lane, 3 men. The same 3. They had come back. The siren had passed, and they had come back. And behind them, a 4th. Dark suit. Hands in his pockets, walking slowly. Like a man who has never once needed to rush. They stopped. Riven stopped, the girl between them. Nobody moving. The man in the suit looked at the girl, then, slowly, at Riven. He tilted his head, like he was seeing something mildly interesting, like Riven was a detail he hadn't planned for, but wasn't particularly worried about. The man walked forward, alone. The 3 men stayed where they were. He stopped 2 feet from Riven and looked at him, without blinking. Not once, just steady. Like a person who had removed the part of themselves that flinches, he said Riven's name, not as a question, as a statement, like confirming something off a list. Riven said nothing. The man spoke again. Quiet voice, no hurry, each sentence short, like he never wasted a word. Milo's Cafe, 3rd floor, Harlan Building, a mother, a brother. 7 am walks to university. He paused, still not blinking. Tonight never happened, and neither will you. He let the sentence hang, incomplete, deliberate. The ending left for Riven to finish in his own imagination. If you forget that, he reached into his jacket pocket, pulled out a cigarette, lit it slowly, like they had all the time in the world. Do you understand me? Riven's mouth opened. Nothing came out. The man waited, patient, still not blinking. Riven nodded. The man took one long drag of the cigarette, turned to his men, said 2 words, clean up. They took the girl. All 4 of them walked back into the darkness. The sound of footsteps faded. Then, nothing. Just Riven, standing alone in the lane, looking at the blood on the concrete. The only proof anything had happened. He stood there for 4 full minutes, without moving, without thinking. Then, he walked home. He went straight to the sink, turned the tap on, washed his hands. His hands were clean, he hadn't touched the blood, but he kept washing anyway. Hot water, soap. Again, again, again. The water ran clear. His hands felt dirty. He sat on the sofa, stared at the wall. Her face came back immediately, those eyes looking toward the door, looking at him. Please. He had stood at that door and done nothing, because that was what he always did. He avoided problems, even small ones, and this one, he had told himself, was too big to touch. But she had looked at him, and he had looked back, and he had done nothing. Call the police. The voice in his head, loud, clear. He picked up his phone, opened the keypad, started to dial. Then the man's voice came back. A mother, a brother. 7 am walks to university. His thumb stopped. He thought of his mother, asleep upstairs. Window unlocked. She never locked it. Said it felt too closed in. His brother, 18. Same route every morning, every single day. He put the phone down. He didn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, the bare bulb, the concrete floor, her face, and the man standing there, not blinking, ever. By morning, he had run the same argument 100 times. Tell the police, risk his family, stay silent, a killer walks free. No clean answer. There never is. He turned on the news, made coffee he didn't drink, stood in the kitchen and watched the screen. Third story. Police are investigating the disappearance of a young woman, last seen in the warehouse district Tuesday night. No leads. A photograph appeared on the screen. Riven's coffee cup hit the floor. It was her, smiling in the photo, the way she had never smiled in that room. A family, a phone number, a plea. If you know anything, please call. Riven knew everything. He was the only person alive who did. Riven picked up his phone. He looked at his hands. They were clean. He had washed them 4 times, 5. They still didn't feel clean. He thought of her eyes. In that room, looking at him. That one word, please. He thought of his brother, walking to university. Same route, every morning. He thought of the man, standing in that alley, not blinking. Tonight never happened. And neither will you. Riven stared at his phone. 2 numbers he could dial. One saved his family. One saved a girl who was already gone. He dialed. It rang once, twice. Someone answered. Was it the police or the man in the suit? Every choice has a price. Riven made his. Find out what it cost him. Part 2. Coming soon. Subscribe. You don't want to miss what Riven chose.